Hi, it's Paul, and today I'm an old man with a response to some comments on my last Brompton video, which was, do I regret buying an electric Brompton? The answer was no, but you can go and watch it up here somewhere first if you want to. Before we get started, I'm obliged, or I feel obliged, to explain why I'm wearing a mountain bike t-shirt in a Brompton video, and the reason for that is, of course, the fact that it's one of the designs in my Redbubble t-shirt store. There's also a Brompton style version there. I don't have a copy of it myself, but by all means go and have a look later. Buy a t-shirt, support the channel, blah blah blah, yawn. Anyway, as I said, the last video was a response to a comment from @SurfWidow, who asked, do you regret buying the electric Brompton? Some people do. And I answered that. But I completely missed another of @SurfWidow's comments, and I also need to talk about a comment from @SimonBrownNZ and mention a couple of others. So @ZenNotZen, @GordonMcCulloch4904, very grateful for your comments. @Biznatch1791 left a long comment talking about the G-line and some of the negative points that people have about Bromptons. I will probably discuss that in my next Brompton video. But for this one, @SimonBrownNZ also left a long comment, but said, if you hadn't bought the electric Brompton, would you convert a standard Brompton or buy the electric Brompton? So, for instance, would I get an old whatever version, an analog version, stick a conversion kit on it, like a switch or a grin or whatever, and do it that way? I'll come back to the rest of Simon's comment shortly, because now I need to mention the comment I missed from @SurfWidow, because she said something along the lines of she was deciding between analog Brompton and electric Brompton, but felt the electric Brompton, while it was an ideal solution to her need, was very expensive for something that she was only going to use occasionally. I think she referred to it as like an emergency bike that would be used when the car was off the road for whatever reason. So let me explain a bit of the story about why we bought ours. We bought ours between the two main lockdowns back in the pandemic. At the time, we had some plans to take them in the car on holidays once the pandemic was over, that being now. And also we were going to get rid of one car and I'd rely more on the Brompton. As it worked out, everything changed on all of that, but I'll park that for the moment. But at that time, bike sales had gone absolutely mad and prices for second-hand bikes went through the roof. The prices of second-hand analog Bromptons on eBay were getting very close to that of a brand new electric Brompton direct from a dealer. You couldn't get either easily, but we wanted to try a Brompton out. And Brilliant Bikes in Berkshire, Chobham I think it is from memory, had a demo bike, so we went to take a look. At the time, I'd also looked at conversion kits, but they again were in short supply. I'd looked particularly at Switch, but the Switch is done like not a GoFundMe, a startup type thing, where they take in all the money and then release the product at the end of the money collection period. So it's months to wait for a Switch. Anyway, we decided we liked the demo bikes, and by pure chance, a week or two later, Brilliant Bikes had an unexpected delivery of bikes from back order from the Brompton factory, and we snapped two of them up because we got them at the standard Brompton price and they were almost instantly available. So we bought brand new with warranty, free first service. The warranty came in handy because of the motor failure, as is well documented in my playlist, and we were all happy. I said things changed in our plans. For one thing, we discovered that over any significant distance, the Brompton aggravated my wife's back issues, so she doesn't ride hers as much as we expected. I retired from work, but then went back as a part-time subcontractor, so I lost my company vehicle and had to get my own car in addition to my wife's car, so we were back up to 2 vehicles. I still have a long-term plan to ditch mine, but we have a lot of housework to do on the house this year, so its life for us is assured for at least another year, because it functions as our works truck to go to the tip and all the rest of it. Something else that changed is our local council built a free access bike park, like a MTB park, at the south of the town, and the Brompton isn't built for that. Yes, it has been down there. But I also now have an EMTB, which I probably, in honesty, use more than the Brompton for leisure riding. So, back to the question. New Brompton Electric or second-hand analogue Brompton and conversion kit? So, I will stress again, I have no regrets in buying either of our electric Bromptons. That's me. Some people do. But if I was buying now, I have a number of dilemmas, and I didn't think fully about all of this in the last video, sorry. So, number 1, electric Brompton C line, which is effectively what mine is. Number 2, electric Brompton G line, just launched. Number 3, analogue Brompton and electric conversion kit. Or number 4, analogue Brompton, conversion kit, and some mods from Kinetic up in Scotland to make it a more capable off-roader. I'm going to concentrate on 1 and 3 with the standard 16-inch wheel Brompton setup, because I've not looked at the G-line, and I also am fairly committed to the tiny fold size that the standard Brompton goes down to. That also effectively excludes the Kinetic mods, because the Kinetic mods take it up to a 20-inch like the G-line, most of them. But in honesty, me being me, because I would now only be buying for me, I probably actually would go for a second-hand analogue Brompton and an electric conversion kit. At Simon Brown NZ talks of the Grin kit, which is one of the kits I looked at when I did a switch conversion for a friend. I chose the switch then because it seemed the better option at the time, but I would definitely look at what's available again if I was doing it now. I also saw one at the time that ran on a Bosch power tool battery, and that I think is really interesting. As you'll see in my DIY videos, I'm on the Ryobi platform, but we do have some inherited Bosch garden tools, so interesting. One of the things, just entirely on the side with stuff like that, is one of the things I looked at was, could we take the Bromptons abroad? Could we take them on a plane? And if you've got a standard Brompton, a non-electric, an analogue as we call them, yes you can. If you've got an electric, no you can't. Well, at least not with the battery, because the battery is too big a capacity to be acceptable on a plane. But interestingly, some of the Bosch or some of the power tool batteries you can squeeze in under the limitations, I believe, or you could at the time, that allow you to take them on a plane. So the one with the Bosch power tool battery, interesting. Didn't go down that path. I dealt with the pros and cons of conversion kit versus OEM Brompton in, I think it was the second one of my switch videos, but essentially it boils down to this. Brompton OEM, you get the full warranty and support from Brompton and their network, which I've found good in the UK. My experience has been very good with Brompton's support. With a conversion kit and an analogue Brompton, you can forget any Brompton warranty because they specifically forbid it. So even if you bought a new analogue bike and converted it and something failed, I would guess you would have a hard time getting a claim through a dealer. The dealer possibly isn't the problem is Brompton. And I get that. I've spent a lot of time working in the warranty side of an industry, and I understand why they would say that. So in terms of backup outside of warranty, I would guess that maybe some dealers might take on the work if you were paying for it. It would depend. It depends whether their dealership's terms from Brompton allow it. There's no real reason an independent bike shop wouldn't take on work, but it depends on the repair also. If it's to the electrical drive system, you might not be so lucky, because it would depend then on the support the dealer would get from the original manufacturer of your drive system. So that could potentially mean you having to roll up your sleeves and get involved going backwards and forwards to your conversion kit supplier. And that's not everyone's preferred experience. For me personally, I've spent half my life doing that kind of thing, so I don't regard it as an issue, but your choice is your own. When I was creating the videos for the switch kit, I was having a conversation backwards and forwards off the air, if you like, with a guy who'd bought the switch kit and was having exactly the same problems as I experienced with the motor disconnection on the Brompton. He had a switch kit and his battery kept losing contact with the battery mount in a similar way, going over bumps as mine, and he could not take his to a dealer. He had to deal directly with Switch to resolve it. It was a switch kit. He had to talk directly to Switch to resolve his issues, which I think he did eventually, but he also said he wasn't alone. There were other people having the same issue. So just bear the aftermarket support in mind. So, once again, do I regret buying the electric Bromptons? No, not in any way, shape or form. Would I buy them again if no alternative option were available? Yes, absolutely. But there are alternatives available now. Also, outside what I've discussed up to now today, there are other options available in the e-bike market, in the folding e-bike market. There are lots of different makes, much cheaper, that you can get as folders. I think generally they're heavier and probably don't fold down again into the tiny little package that the Brompton does. They've probably all got 20-inch wheels, and that's not my thing. But personally, if I were buying again today, I actually probably would go for a second-hand C-line or classic Brompton or another 16-inch Brompton and convert it with whatever conversion kit that I found fulfilled my needs right now. Hope that's helped. Next time I'll talk a little bit more about the G line and people's issues with Brompton to respond to at Biznatch. Comments, questions, opportunities to buy merchandise to support the channel below. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one. Bye.